Why does this show, Self-Directed Investor Radio, even exist? And why is it strategically wise for you to be a listener? Today I open up about my motivations for doing this show, and my friends, it's all about you. I'm Bryan Ellis. Listen in right now to discover whether I really know who you are or not. This is special episode number 160.
You're listening to Self-Directed Investor Radio, America's only podcast exclusively for affluent, self-directed investors, where each day of the week you receive innovative investment strategy and deadly accurate market analysis that's untainted by Wall Street and unblemished by government propaganda, all in 7 minutes or less. Coming to you now from iTunes, Stitcher, and SDIRadio.com, here's your host, Bryan Ellis.
Hello, SDI Nation. Welcome to the podcast of record for savvy, self-directed investors like you. It's another beautiful Monday morning, and I'm so glad to have another day on planet Earth and another 7 minutes to spend with you. So let's cut straight to the heart of the matter, shall we? This show is designed to serve the unique needs of a specific person, the affluent, self-directed investor. But what does that really mean? Who's the show really for? Well, first, you must have an interest in growing your financial portfolio. In other words, you must be an investor. Second is self-directed. While you might have a financial advisor and a conventional portfolio of stocks and mutual funds, chances are good that you are strongly inclined to shift away from Wall Street and its retail investments and towards better alternatives. And third, you must actually have sufficient capital to make those investments, which requires a degree of financial affluence. Now, if any of those don't apply to you, you're still welcome to listen to this show as an aspirational exercise. But if all three of those things describe you, you're an affluent, self-directed investor, then you're precisely who we here at Self-Directed Investor Society exist to serve. Now, a little background. Most of you don't even know that this show isn't the only thing I do. Empirically, the show isn't the biggest thing I do, even though this show has been wildly successful from day one, and I thank you for that. By the way, I suspect this show will be the biggest thing I'm doing as it continues to grow stratospherically in the next coming 12 months or so. But my other activities are part and parcel to why I'm here to serve you today. I'm also the publisher of a newsletter for real estate investors called the Bryan Ellis Investing Letter. That newsletter has a subscriber base of over 700,000 real estate investors of all experience levels, focused mostly in the United States, but with subscribers in many dozens of countries around the world. Now, as an aside, did you know this show has listeners in 139 countries? That's really cool. Thank you, and welcome to all of my listeners outside the United States. Now, that newsletter, the Bryan Ellis Investing Letter, is sent out on a near daily basis and contains news and strategy for investors. We regularly host training events targeted at new investors as well. As a commanding percentage of our readership are people whose experience in real estate is limited. Now, that business has been a fun, fulfilling, and profitable business. We still run it to this day. In fact, my lovely wife, Carol, is now wholly in control of that business, and frankly, she's doing a better job of running it than I ever did. But here's the thing. A few years ago, a bug bit me, and a fever got a hold of me of sorts, and I've never lost that fever. Here's what happened. Several years ago, before the real estate crash, I was contacted by a group of people who were seeking to find actual investors for real transactions. In other words, they weren't educators, they were investors looking to deploy capital, and they wanted my help finding more clients. Now, I got involved with them, and lo and behold, the craziest thing happened. My clients made money, like real spendable profits. Some of the clients made a lot, and some of them made a little. I don't believe we had any losses, thankfully, but the point is that my clients were seeing real, tangible results, and that was a refreshing change for me. Why? Prior to that, most of my business was wrapped up in providing educational programs to my subscribers. So if a person wanted to learn how to flip real estate, we sold them a training program on flipping real estate. If they wanted to be a private lender, we sold them a course on private lending. That sort of thing. And you know what? I was and am proud to be involved in that business. There are people out there who are very self-motivated and who just want to be taught how to get a result so they can go out and produce that result. I myself am the product of such an approach to learning and have thoroughly enjoyed being a part of the mix for the inestimable number of people who have learned from and implemented the training we've provided. But here's the thing. Education is a long game. In other words, a person who buys a training program today could learn the information and start right away. But that's not what the overwhelming majority of people do. Most people will go through the program or parts of it, then they'll put it on the shelf for a while and let it simmer in their minds, and at some point in the future they'll come back to it, or maybe not. Education is as much about discovery as about learning, discovering the things that you're really passionate about. So the education business, while rewarding, is a slow-moving thing for people who are new to real estate investing. And that's okay. It's very necessary. But folks, I'm an engineer by training. For me, things are very black and white. And from my vantage point, what I want now and what I've always wanted was to produce measurable results results for my clients, and not just in the distant long term, but right away. Over the years, I've developed a working theory. I want it to be the case that a year after doing business with me, a client can look back at their balance sheet and see where there was a clear, positive impact as a result of doing business with me. Education and discovery isn't enough. There must be measurable results. Thus, Self-Directed Investor Society was born. We still provide education, but usually it's in the form of individual consultations for specific circumstances. But more than anything else, we help our clients make wise decisions about deploying their capital into investments that are simple, safe, and strong. Many deals have closed for our clients in recent weeks, and many more will close in the next few weeks that will match perfectly with my working theory. The clients in those deals will have a clear, undeniably positive, measurable financial impact as a result of working with the team here at Self-Directed Investor Society. It's been so humbling, folks, with so much success so quickly and having already received substantial trust from our clients in such a short period of time. It's humbling, it's gratifying, it's amazing. And it's all about serving one very specific group of people, affluent, self-directed investors. So if that's you, if you are an affluent, self-directed investor, you're in the right place, and these are exciting times. And I thank you for listening to this show. Now, tomorrow I'll return with more about some truly simple, safe, strong investment opportunities that will absolutely get your attention. You don't want to miss it. In fact, be sure to get on our notification list right now by texting the word SDI Radio with no spaces or periods to 33444. My friends, invest wisely today and live well forever.
Thank you for listening to Self-Directed Investor Radio with Bryan Ellis. Don't miss a single episode. Be sure to subscribe to Self-Directed Investor Radio right now on iTunes, on Stitcher, and at SDIRadio.com. Your feedback is always welcomed via email at feedback@SDIRadio.com. This show is for entertainment purposes only and is not intended as legal or professional advice for your situation. Content is the property of the Self-Directed Investor Society.